All right, this video is on another shared motif. I don't know what to call this one. This is unaware life. It's going to emerge in three places. I'm going to show it from Genesis. It's the shortest version I've got here. It's only a couple of lines. And this, again, this represents the time in our life where we are living life unaware. We're just getting our jobs, going to school, doing all that kind of stuff. We're trying to, look nice and get fancy for people and, get mates and all that kind of stuff. We're doing things that are very much focused on the world. We're not turned inward yet and going, oh, that's unnecessary. The person that goes on that says that's unnecessary is likely going to start out that way anyway. I did. I mean, there's a point where I'm like, I want my hair right. I want nice clothes. I want to look a certain way. Things that today I don't care about. I mean, I'm not going to purposefully be a slob, but if, it's your mindset changes. This motif right here represents that time in our life when we're living that way right there. My name is Dan Paulson. Welcome to the video. All right, I've got it here, and it says, this common motif represents the part of human life where we start out living our unaware life. All right, Ecclesiastes. Now, remember the way these work out. Let me describe this before reading it. As you're reading this, imagine that it's happening in your mind, that this place you're building, the things that's happening, the stuff you're learning, everything is a part of your life, that it's not out there in the world, although it sounds like it. You have to close your eyes and say, this is me living my life. And remember, it's thousands of years old. It's going to sound really weird to us. We got to put ourselves in their shoes. Okay, so as we read this, what do we get? I said in my heart, go now. I will prove you with mirth. Therefore, enjoy pleasure, and behold, this is also vanity. Okay, right here, we're just going to go off and start living life. This is chapter 2. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what does it? What is it good for? I sought in my heart to give myself into wine, yet acquainted my heart with wisdom. Okay, this is us. I sought in my heart to give myself wine. I wanted to feel good, yet I began to learn things instead, and to lay unto folly unnecessary things, that I might see what was good for the sons of men. The sons of men are people, that is us, as we're living life based on what we see other people doing. We're just living life, judging life. We're not stepped back from it. Sons of men. We're becoming products of what we see, not products of what we have to begin with. All right, which they should do under the heavens all the days of their life. So this is us. What are we going to do? What are we going to be? We're starting to change. I want to feel good, yet I'm starting to learn. That's like first sin, honestly. Wisdom, consuming of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Consuming means learning spiritually, learning right from wrong, learning good from bad. Wisdom, same thing. Those are motifs within motifs. And we're going to go live that way. I made my great works. I built my houses. I planted my vineyards. This is you. What are my houses? I'm learning my job. I'm going to school. I'm having relationships. Those are my houses. I planted me vineyards. These are things that are going to grow from our gardens, that are going to emerge from us. I planted me vineyards. My planted vineyards means that I'm learning things. Right after the flood, there was Noah planted a vineyard and then drank wine from it and felt good. This is referencing right here that I am creating the gardens of my mind, what's going to grow from there. I made the gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruit. These are all different things that we know, that we learn, that we do. All of our activities. I made me pools of water to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. So I'm going to self-perpetuate. I got servants and maidens and servants born in my house. These are divided qualities. Look inside. Do you ever catch yourself going, damn it, why is this happening? Why does my mind do this? Why? Those are servants and maidens in your house. That's upstairs. Great possessions of great small. See, that's bad. You don't want great possessions. Small cattle that were all in Jerusalem before me. Jerusalem is not Jerusalem that we know of on the planet Earth. Jerusalem is, you turn this into your mind. Jerusalem is an analog for the place where you live, and this story is for you. We don't want to collect things in there. Jesus is going to say later to become poor in spirit. This is the opposite of that. We're becoming rich in spirit. Great possessions. I gathered me also silver and gold and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I got me men and singers and women singers and the delights of the sons of men as musical instruments and of all those sorts. So that's what they're doing for pleasure back then. What would we be doing today? How would this apply? I gathered me up silver and gold and the peculiar. I'm getting my cars and buying my fancy stuff, whatever it is I think that I need to be cool. And of the provinces, I get men and singers, of women singers. We are seeking pleasures. Singing is fine. What is this? Sons of men is bad. The lights of the sons of men and musical instruments and all that sorts. This is living life, party and unaware, and really not understanding what life is about. So I was great and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. Okay, so you're the person that's chosen. You know to, at some point in time, that it's going to be better, but right now you are living life and we're moving along and gathering more stuff. All that were before me in Jerusalem, previous iterations of yourself. And whatsoever my eyes desire, I just went after whatever I wanted. I didn't keep my heart from joy, and my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was the portion of all my labor. Then I looked upon all the works that my hands had wrought. I looked upon my life and what I had accomplished and where I am, and on the labor that I had labored to do, where I've got to in life. And behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly, for what can man do that cometh after the king? Even that which had been already done. Okay, so this might be a stretch for people to start with. It's taken me a while to get there. What I understand that this is very old, and if I was to rephrase it, it would be something like, I started out early life, and I planted the gardens in my mind by learning this and learning that and choosing this and having these hobbies and these activities and these kind of friends and these, whatever. All this stuff, just look back on it, put yourself in the story. I can't do that for you. I can tell you what I'm doing with it, and then I look back on myself and I go, okay, yeah, this is the time in life where I'm like, I got a Blaupunk stereo in my pickup truck and all kinds of, I think it's cool and all that kind of stuff. Now it's like, I got an old car that's got 250,000 miles on it, and I don't have any payments to make. Life changes. Your priorities change. This is the time in life where your priorities are, I got to live. I'm a human being. I got to figure out life. I got to be part of that. We grow to a point where you go, okay, I want to rise up above that. This is where I started, but it's not where I want to finish. This is the part in life where that has happened. I'm going to just pick a random example of something that we can see out there in the world. Like when you see people like, maybe the biggest one is like certain like wealthy sports stars that become very popular and whatnot that have like all kinds of big jewelry and rings, and the stuff is like really extravagant. It's very costly. And what's it for? It's for them. It's for their pleasure. And they work for it. They got it. You look at the greater good of life though and go, is that really how life works? And you realize with evolution, that's exactly how it works. So we're seeing something that's natural, that's happening. But all of us at some point in time, there's a point in time in my life where I don't have much, but I want to wear like this little brass bracelet or something like that, it's got my name on it, and it's weird stuff. It's pretty old. I didn't have much, but there was a time where I did that, wanted to wear a hat that made me look cool or have my hair a certain way or something like that, because that's just the way we grow up through life. I look at it now and go, well, that was an iteration of me. We go through iterations of ourselves. We have to understand that's what the stories are doing. All of it is us, iterations of us, also in a mental hierarchy. Okay, let's go to Genesis. I think that's the next one on my list here, and see what that one sounds like. It's right after the division, Cain and Abel, so we're in our bad state here. And Lamech took him 2 wives, and one was Adah, and the name of the other was Zillah. This yellow highlighted portion is all there is to it. And Adah bore Jabal. He was the father of such that dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of such that handle the harp and organ. These are us. These are iterations of us too, but you see how small it is. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. So that's Genesis is so small in that section right there. Book of Enoch, this one's huge. Check this out. It's going to be 2 chapters. Well, it's not huge, but it's 2 short chapters compared to the other ones. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go into them and to defile themselves with them. So let me set this up. What's happened here is that this is about us. We are Enoch. If we're going on the adventure, we're getting ready to turn inward. But this is where things have gone bad. This is the same place in Genesis where the sons of God have come down and defiled the beautiful daughters of men. This is it right here. So that's what's happening right here. The bad guys are coming down, and we're living life. We're corrupting. And all the others took unto themselves wives, and each chose for themselves one, and they began to go into them and defile themselves with them. So this is our early qualities being corrupted, our joy, our trust, all that kind of stuff. They're going to get defiled. And they taught them charms and enchantments and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was above 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. Okay, mankind represents our early, we're good people. We're little kids. We got all kinds of ideas. But what happens is life comes and these other qualities take us over. These giants devoured mankind. So instead of sitting there saying, hey, let's talk about this, I don't quite understand, it turns into, you son of a bitch, and then later you're like, I don't know why I did that. I don't know. We've got something else that is happening. This represents us failing and becoming what we are. And they begin to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. So birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, they're making it pretty thick here. Birds would be thoughts in your mind. Beasts would be things that you do. Your with your hands and stuff like that. Reptiles, fish, I'm not sure that comes from. Drink the blood. We're consuming in ourselves, and we're going to get worse. So you take those things that start off bad, and you look back on them and go, well, when I was little, they were not that bad, but as life went on, they got worse and worse and worse. So that's what's happening here. We're devouring one another's blood and drinking the blood. We're getting more internally corrupted. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. This is us beginning to cry out. But nothing happens yet. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and make known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. Okay, what does that sound like right there? I got to live among people. Let's pretty ourselves up and see what we can do to walk high among man and find our way and be, that's where we are. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and they became corrupt in all their ways. Okay, so the fornication is what? That is actually having experiences that produce offspring that are not good. I have had this happen. Now this comes out of me, emerges from me all the time, and now I'm angry about this or something. The fornication is not physical, it's spiritual fornication or mental. And people question that. It's like you have to stop and think. It's an analogous term. What does it mean? If it doesn't mean physical fornication, what is happening in the mental world then? Why would it be called fornication? You have to understand that there's an offspring being produced as a result of some sort of no, up yours, all that back and forth. And then there's anger that happens there's that person again. Now something continues to emerge as a result. That was a fornication. You have to unwrap from the terms and go, ooh, you know what? It doesn't mean have sex. It means have some sort of exchange that produces continual offspring. But the offspring is from a mental level, and it affects us emotionally. You could accomplish the same thing with completely different verbiage by saying, I've planted thistles in my garden, and every season they emerge. And that, what you're describing is I've got something in here that I've judged, and as a result, I'm going to continue to be judged by it. Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Armoros, the resolving of enchantments. I'm not going to pronounce these. Taught astrology. Kokabel, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Erekiel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. And Seriel, the course of the moon. And men perished. They cried, and their cry went up to heaven. All right, I don't need to make the video too long. Do you see that? There's a point in time in your own life. You have to look at that and go, that represents me. This is really old, though. If it was today, if it was modernized, it would be something like, that we went up and went to school and graduated from here and then attended this and then joined that and then served here or something there or, had these experiences along the way that continued to build and to compound the memories happening, all of that. That is what is happening right here. And you can see in some places it's even, that weapons and clouds and stars, things like that. They're learning different things that are like maybe astrology or all kinds of different stuff that at some point in time are not really the right things. We're going to turn inward. We're going to turn inward to find the right way. But they're naming all the, the eyelid stuff, all that kind of stuff. It's that time in life where we are trying to figure out how to become a man among men or a person among people, as opposed to realizing, you know what, I've got somewhere else I'm supposed to be. All right. Hope this was interesting. See you in the next video.